Okay, another lesson on research methods, another secondary source, well, secondary sources in fact. So official stats is a secondary source, but it's a secondary quantitative source. What to today are secondary qualitative source. So we're going to learn about this source of information, so understand when and why to use them. Okay, primary, do it yourself. I mean, if you collect evidence, is primary. Collection, so letters, historical data, diaries, novels, culture, values. You know what these are. You better know what these are by now. Time machine, Blackfoot, right? Blackfoot as a Native American tribe. We might study in class. We might not. We might though. Okay, let's go. Secondary sources. We mean stuff like newspapers, TV shows, movies, diaries, novels, stuff from the past. Yeah. Newspapers 100 years ago, TV shows of 50 years ago, old movies, people's diaries, books they wrote, anything. That's what we mean here by secondary sources. We have to use them because we do not have time machines. If we had time machines, it would be simple. We'd jump in a time machine, we'd go back 500 years, and we'd give out questionnaires, or we'd do observations, and we'd know what their culture was like. But we can't do that. We can't do that. We want to do that. We want to know what culture was like in the past so we can see how it's changed compared to today. But we don't have a time machine. Yeah. So we use these sources, they tell us about the past, and we compare them to our cultures today. Example. 50 years ago, 80% of the population smoked. Today, 20% of the population smoke. So that's a big change. But it's more than just a change in numbers. It's a change. We can see, using secondary sources, we can see the image of smoking has changed. Changed a lot. So these are images from movies about 50, 60, 70 years ago. People are smoking. And I hope you can see that in these images, people smoking are glamorous, sophisticated, posh. They are middle class. At the point 50 years ago when 80% of people smoked, the middle class smoked. And because the middle class smoked, if you're going to use a Marxist thing, say because of hegemony, smoking was shown as a very positive, glamorous, sophisticated, grown-up thing to be doing. Yeah. Then, over the course of the last 50 years, smoking has declined. It's seen as a bad thing, it's bad for our health, etc., etc. Now, I've just told you the stats say that only 20% of people now smoke. But it's not any old 20%. The 20% who smoke are nearly all working class, or mostly working class. Hence, if you look at data, any sort of imagery of people smoking today, smoking is shown as not being very glamorous. Smoking is shown as something that chavs do. It's part of the smoking, so it's part of the demonisation of the working class. Think about it, next time you're watching a movie, watching a TV show, if the people who make that program, if they want to tell you that the person is evil, all they've got to do is have them spark up. Oh, that's the bad guy. Everyone knows that. Yeah. So using secondary sources, we can see how the culture has changed.